Thanks for joining me. We're going to do a little Pilates today. And since we're spending a lot more time sitting and looking at a screen, I'm going to work on your upper body, creating a little bit more length, a little bit more open through those shoulders, a little bit more ease. And also we're going to work on the pelvis to try to find that ease in the pelvis as well. I'm going to use some things that you have at your house, and that is a hand towel, as well as having another towel possibly for your knees when we're kneeling, or if you have a little pad that you can put under your knees for comfort, you could use that as well. What's going to be most important is that you're keeping yourself safe and comfortable. So just check in while we're doing the workout. And if you feel that something doesn't feel appropriate for your body and you need to modify it or not do it at all, please do so. And I will be giving you suggestions as the workout goes on to give you some ideas of things to do. So we're going to start with just the hand towel. So if you would move the chair out of the way for now, and grab your hand towel, and first you're going to fold it in half, and then half again, and that lengthwise position. All right, so once you've got the towel, I'm having a little trouble here, let me fix that again. You're going to hold the ends of the towel. You're going to hold it with the thumb and the first finger. Now let's check out the position of your feet, and we're going to place them hip distance apart. And all that means is finding that bone that you can feel in the front of your hip, and then lining the center of the thigh, the shin, the ankle, and the middle of the foot with that. The toes are lined up straight across, and you've got your thighs lifted as if stockings. You're pulling them up away from your kneecaps. Then when you reach your pelvis, I want that pubic bone to belly button to be a nice tight connection. But do that without overtaxing or over squeezing your glutes. That's your butt. Then we're going to want those ribs to be floating up away from the hips, the shoulders dripping down the back in a gentle way, and the neck long with the head in the crown, reaching to the ceiling. We're going to start by moving the arms. But before we begin, I want you to think of your arms like wings. And your wings are connected into your sacrum, into that low pelvis. And then from that sacrum, it reaches down to the earth. So that when you move your arms, you're moving from your back body and you're feeling the whole body participating. So we're going to make those arms active by pulling out a little bit with that towel, and then start to lift the arms up as you inhale. As you exhale, they'll lower. Those wings reaching out and extending from the floor, and then lowering back down. You can feel with each time you lift the arms, you grow a little taller, a little bit more ease in your shoulders, and reach it up and down. Keep the arms nice and straight. Notice that your armpits are shining forward as the arms come up, and the shoulder blades are widening and dropping as you lower down. The next time the arms are up there, keep them up there, and we're going to begin to do a little sway in the body. This movement is happening from the belly button to the crown of the head, and the frame of the arm and the head are staying the same as you go from side to side. So you're thinking about lengthening more than trying to get over too far or using your arms. But you're thinking about lengthening from that pubic bone out through the crown of the head, through the fingertips. Feet are very grounded. The pelvis is stable. Find yourself in the center, and then we're going to lower those arms and place the towel right on the back of the head. I've got a firm grip of my head, but not in a way that's pulling my head forward or back. The elbows are slightly in, so I can see them in my peripheral vision. We're going to just tuck the chin back so that the head meets the pressure of the towel, and then let it soften. And continue with that, knowing that you are working on the correct alignment of your neck and your head. You're also strengthening those muscles so that you can maintain it. And remind yourself as the class goes on, we can refer back to this feeling and use it. Good. A couple more like that. And now keeping that there, keeping the frame of the arms with the gentle pressure against the head, we're going to begin rotating the spine. There's going to be 3 pulses. and then center your breathing. I'd like you to try to keep your hips square, and you can think about taking the hip in the direction that you're moving and reaching it forward. And one more. Bring it forward. We're going to let the head drop, a little gentle pressure down, feeling that stretch. The elbows reach towards the floor. Now, as you open the arms, think of moving from your back, opening those wings, squeeze your shoulder blades a little towards each other, and try it again. A nice soft round. It's just the upper body, shoulders and neck that are moving. And then lifting, and of course the head. And then one more time, the nice softening, and then opening. Holding that position, stretch the arms to the ceiling. Now we're going to keep the shoulders down the back, and then bend the elbows wide, and then press them up to the ceiling. I'm not really trying to bring them behind my head. I'm just letting them come down to a comfortable place with the elbows reaching out, the shoulders dropping down, and a gentle pressure outward through the towel, and then stretching it up to the ceiling. When I'm stretching, I'm trying to maintain the drop shoulder position each time, straightening those arms fully. So you gotta turn on your triceps, straighten through those arms. And one more time, reach it up. Now I'm gonna do an upper ab curl. That just means bowing my upper body forward. The arms will reflect the movement by moving down a little bit. So my pelvis is still upright and the upper body is round. Then to come back up, think of the back of your spine between your shoulder blades and drop that vertebrae, and then move up the back, sequencing through each vertebrae to use those back muscles to bring yourself back up. Think of going up and over a big ball. It's okay if the shoulders move with you and come a little closer to the ears. And then roll yourself back up using that back body. Use your breath. Exhale into the belly. Expand through the ribs. Reach through the fingertips. And stack that spine back up. This next one, we're going to take it all the way to the floor. So you round like you've been doing, and then allow the knees to soften as they need to as you fall all the way to the floor. So we're going to bend the knees and just nod your head up and down. And then turn it from side to side. And then try straightening the legs, lifting the sit bones, and then softening the knees. Your knees are directed straight ahead, right over the middle of your feet. Lift up those sit bones and bend the knees. We're going to begin to roll up. Connect through your belly first. Drop your tailbone. You're still reaching through the arms. You're going to plug those arms into your back. Use those spine muscles to lift your arms back up again. And there you are. And then let those hands come down by your side. Good. So we're going to start to warm up the big muscles of your legs a little bit. So we're going to bring the legs into a parallel, shoulder distance apart position. And then as you take the hips back behind you, as if you're going to sit into a chair, your arms are going to shift forward with an extended spine, keeping that chest long. We're trying to not lower the chest, but to lower the hips. And then as you stand, bring the arms with you and stand tall. And inhaling back. Exhale, push through your heels. Stand tall. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Come on up and bring the arms out in front of you. Now we're going to pull the arms towards you. And as you do that, I want you to leave your pelvis in that upright position without over-engaging your glutes. And then lift the chest to the ceiling. Look up at the ceiling as you do it. And then straighten the arms out in front of you. Of course, the shoulders are plugging back rather than coming forward away from the body. Inhale as you bend. Lift that sternum. And exhale to straighten. Few more. Lift that sternum. Pull apart the towel. And straighten. Inhale. And exhale. One more. And now we're going to add this to our next movement, bringing it down. We're going to externally rotate the legs. And keep in mind that external rotation comes from the top of the thighs right at the hip sockets. So we're in a wider position with that turnout from the top of the hips. The feet are reflecting the turnout. So if you bend your knee, rather than it coming forward, it should line up right in the middle of your foot between the second and third toe. And then you're going to come back to straight there. And now we're going to do those arm movements with our little bending and straightening in this position. Now, instead of the hips going backwards, the hips now are going to go straight down a pole. The knees are going to pry open, and you're going to keep your back as straight as you can, and then you're going to stand back up. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Now let's add those arms. They're going to go up as you go down, and then as you come in, you're going to pull the elbows in, lift the chest, reach the arms out. And if the arms confuse you, just leave them out for now, and then bend those elbows and lift the chest. Stretch it out, and down. Press down, and lift. Straighten, and up. Tall spine, and lift. And one more, and lift, and in, and straighten. Good. We're going to bring the feet in and find that nice parallel position once again. And the hands are going to be holding the end of the straps. The towel is pressing against your thighs. We're going to do what's called chest expansion. You've done a reformer class. You've probably done this. We're going to push the strap against the thighs and then roll those shoulders wide. Keep the chin pulling back against that imaginary towel, and then release it. And we'll try that again. Pulling against the thighs, reaching those arms back. You're going to notice again the inside of the arm and the triceps, the back of that upper arm are active, and really encourage that. As the shoulders roll back, chin pulls back, the chest expands, and then you release. Two more. And good. Now we're going to combine a couple of things that we've been doing. We're going to begin making a circle. It's going to start side, then round forward, take it over to the other side, to the back, and keep going. Stay in one direction. And notice how my towel is reflecting the movement. When I go to the side, it's lined up with my head. When I go to the front, it's square to the front. Then you have to flip that top arm up. Take it back behind you, and then keep going. Use your abs for support. Keep the range of motion that works for your body. And we're going to come up and hold it, and then go the other way. Side bend, round forward in that upper ab curl, side bend, extension. Around you go. One more. Once you come back to the front, we're going to roll up to a straight position. Great. All right, so we're going to need our chair now. Bring it over. And it's going to be used for balance. So have the back of it near you. And then now you're going to fold your towel in half lengthwise, but then you're going to roll it up like a sausage. And we're going to be standing on it. So you want to make sure that it's nice and even and smooth. And then you're going to put that little sausage on the floor. Okay, so we're going to step on with one foot. And then it should allow the other leg to be slightly away from the floor. We are going to hold on to the chair for this first part. Do make sure that you're not sinking in your standing hip, but you've got that active glute pulling in towards your midline, your pubic bone lifting up towards your rib cage, and then the crown of the head continuing to the ceiling. The foot needs to be flexed so you don't hit the floor. And then you're going to do a little pendulum swing through the leg. And the idea here is if we keep that upright position of the pelvis, then we're free to move the leg without any grabbing or holding in your hip flexors. So you're just trying to let that be a nice smooth swing right from that crease of where your thigh and your hip meet. And keep that going. Breathing, standing strong. And then it's going to turn into a little circle. And this circle is about rotating the leg in the hip socket. Nothing else will move as you do that little rotation. You're trying to keep the leg parallel, which means your toes are facing forward. And then going the other way. Good. And then we're going to step off of there. We're going to change feet. Step on your toe. Find your nice position where you are active and lifted, and then swinging that leg. Remember to keep it small, whatever range of motion you need to not create any pinching or jamming in the low back. If you do feel this in your low back, keep it like super small, like just a tiny, tiny, tiny movement. And then keep those low abdominal fibers drawing towards each other as you're doing it. All right, and then begin your little circle. Around you go. And the other way. Okay, we're going to switch back to the first leg, and we're going to add a little balance. Standing on that leg, strong through the standing leg. Now, you have a choice here. You can have the leg touching the other leg, which will give you a little extra support, or you can have the leg a little bit away, which will make it more challenging. So if you know that balance is challenging for you in general, then you're probably going to want to stick with the leg touching the other leg. Your hand, I would like them in a low V position so that when you take the other arm off and focus on something that is not moving, you have the chair available if you need it. That's it. Holding there. You can feel the proprioception of the little movements happening in your foot and your ankle, and then place your foot down. Good work. All right, other side. Don't be surprised if one side is a little different than the other. And then find your strategy. Find what you're focusing on. Use those abs. Enjoy it. And then step down. Very nice. Okay, so we're gonna put the towel aside but nearby, and then we're gonna turn the chair so now it's facing in this direction. Now, if you have something to put under your knees and would like to do that, this is the time to do it. So I have a little pad, and I'm gonna put that down on the ground. You're gonna wanna position the chair so that when you lean forward, you are supported by the chair and don't feel like it's too far or too close. Now, we're gonna have the feet curled under so that the top of the feet are on the mat. The heel of the hand is on the edge of the chair. Then we're gonna just lean the body forward till we find a kneeling plank position. That just means your knees to your shoulders are in one straight line. Your belly is zipping from the pubic bone to the belly button. The low glutes are working, but just mildly, not overly taxing them. And you want to be careful you keep that low back nice and long. And then by pushing through the heel of the hand, lean yourself back so that you feel a little stretch for the knees. But I want you to keep your chest coming forward. Do not let your chest round. And then lean yourself forward again. You can add a little upper back extension and lean back. And we'll do that a few more times. Leaning forward and leaning back. Nice big inhale. And exhale. There you go. Okay, so now come forward and pick up your feet and curl your toes under. We want to get a little bit more stretch in those toes and the feet. So that when you reach back and you hold that position, you should be feeling a stretch. You know, for some of us, this will be very intense. Others, it won't be as intense. And then we'll do a few more of that leaning forward and stretching back. And the next time you come forward, let's hold it there. I'm going to do some tricep push-ups. So as you lower yourself to the chair in one piece, keep the elbows tight, and then straighten your arms. So there isn't any change in the spine as you lower and straighten. Good. And think of pushing down on the chair rather than forward so your chair doesn't slide. And keep that moving. Inhaling down, exhaling up. Please straighten your arms fully by engaging your triceps, elbows close into the body, and one more to go. Good. Now we're going to take the knee that's going to stay on the floor and put it in the middle of the mat. Then your other leg is going to come to the outside of the chair. And then you're going to use the top of the chair for support, and you're going to lean forward into a hip flexor stretch. So my elbows are on the chair. You can also have your hands on the chair if you have less flexibility. And we're trying to square the hips and the shoulders to the front. And then see if you can turn on your glute or the leg in the back and lift up through that chest a little more. And then just hold the stretch. Enjoy that opening of the front of the hip that you're feeling. Hold the belly in a little more. And then we're going to lean back and find the hamstrings. So the leg in the front is going to straighten with a flex foot. You're going to square off those hips, and then you're going to lean forward. Again, to that place that your body is comfortable. So for some people, that might mean staying upright. For others, that might mean getting a little lower. And holding that position, perfecting it, and relaxing. All right, so now we're going to strengthen the hamstring a little bit. So if you bring that foot closest to the chair so that the foot and the knee is stacked, then your back leg is going to straighten by pressing the hamstring to the ceiling and reaching through that back heel. Now we're going to try to stay lifted here. Notice I have my arms straight. You're going to just bend that knee and then press through the back of the leg to straighten. 4 more times. Inhale down, exhale up. Couple more. Lift the belly up. One more time. Good. Now, transition to the other side, we're going to go into a downward facing dog. You're going to bring your other leg to meet the one that you have there, and then you're going to push through those arms, reach through your sit bones, and feel free to have the heels lifted or the knees bent to really be able to translate into the pelvis, to reach through those sit bones. And now, alternate straightening the legs and bending the knees. Keep pulling up through the belly and reaching through the sit bones. Good. Now we're going to step the other leg forward. Bring that knee down. And then add your hip flexor stretch on this side. Pulling that hip back. So the hip of the bent knee in the front, you really want to pull that hip back behind you. And the other hip you're trying to pull forward. So square those hips. Square the shoulders. And then find your stretch. You can increase it by engaging the glute and the leg in the back. Now we're going to shift back so you can find your hamstring. Flexing that front leg again. Find that nice square position. Find the range of motion that works for your body. And then hold it. See what's going on with your foot. Make sure it's staying nice and flat, that you're not rotating one way or the other, but it's like against the wall. Okay, so now let's try those hamstring strengthening. You're going to bring your foot so it's lying stacked with your knee. Curl the back toe under, straighten those arms, and extend that back leg. You take your little bend, pull up through that belly, and straighten. Keep that going. Down that knee, straighten it out. Good. One more time. going to go back to our downward facing dog. This time we're going to add some planks. So we're going to lift those heels up. You're going to lean the hips forward, bring the chest forward, and find your plank. Make sure that you're in a straight line. Your belly is pulled in. Your hamstrings are pressing to the ceiling. The heels are reaching away from the crown of the head and the shoulders are dripping down the back. Push through those arms, hinge through those hips, and press yourself back. Take yourself forward again. Find it, stick it, and then stretch it back. This time we're going to stay there. We're going to alternate between rounding the upper back, finding center, and extending the upper back. Round the upper back like an ab curl. Your pelvis is not changing, and then extend the upper back. One more. Round it, pull that belly in, and then press down to extend, and then press back to your dog. Lift the heels, lower them, lift, lower, and then run in place. One heel lowering, lift, one heel lowering, lift. I'm going to walk forward and roll up through the spine. All right, we're going to get rid of the chair. I'm going to come to a seated position with the towel. All right, so we're going to be doing a C curve. But first what I want you to do is, again, find that long folded position of your towel. And then with your feet on the ground, and you're sitting up as tall as you can, you're going to push the towel into your shins, tuck your hands or elbows into your body, and use it to lift your chest up as much as you can. Good. Now that you got it, straighten your arms out in front of you. You're going to do just a pelvic tilt. You curl that tail, but try to stay as tall as you can. Reach through the arms. Squeeze your legs together. And then sit up tall. And again, lift to tuck. And tall. One more time. Lift to tuck. And now we're going to go back further, rounding through that spine, curling the tail under, reaching through the arms, finding the C curve. Inhale there. Pull the belly back deeper, reach the arms forward, and then sit up as tall as you can. Use the pressure of the strap or the towel in your hands to help you. And then roll back. Pull back through that chin, roll yourself back up. Next time you're back there, stay there. You might want to bring your feet in a little closer and then rotate, and then rotate, and rotate, and rotate. Move from your ribs. Now, you're going to do a lift, up and over and rotate, and lift, up and over and rotate. Again, lift and rotate, and lift, and rotate. Bring it back to center. As you straighten your legs, I want you to lie all the way down to the floor. Your arms will land right above your shoulders. So zip those legs together, point your feet. Arms are directly over the shoulders, you're pulling out. You're gonna lift the shoulders off the mat and then press them down into the mat. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Now, we're going to, for a moment here, we're going to do an ab curl with our towel again so that we can utilize that concept of using the back of the head pressing. So, we got our elbows again in your peripheral vision, the towel around the back of your skull. Inhale to prepare, exhale, lift the head and chest and look down at your feet. Hold it there and do a little pulse, lifting, by sinking your ribs. So the back ribs are pressing down as you're lifting through the chest. And then lower yourself, down you go. Bring those arms back up and over your head. Now we're gonna flex the feet. We're gonna reach those arms up and we're gonna do a roll up. And if you know that you are challenged with getting up, you can always roll your towel and put it under your low back. Otherwise, we're gonna have the arms up ahead, and then inhale, exhale, and then begin to roll yourself up. all the way to a nice rounded position. You're pulling your belly back as the arms reach away. You're reaching through your big toe to keep those inner thighs active, and then pull back through your belly as you reach through the arms and place each vertebrae down separately into the floor. The arms reach behind you. Inhale. Exhale. Do that beautiful ab curl. Reach through those arms. Reach up and over as you reach forward. Then roll back. Pull your belly back. And again. This next one, we're going to stay up there. And then when you start to roll back, you're going to stop when you get to the top of the pelvis, and you're going to bring one knee into tabletop and float the other leg up off the floor. You've got the towel. You're going to change legs. Think of pulling the knee to the chest and stretch the other leg away. Single leg stretch. Hold it there. Put the towel behind your head. Rotate towards the bent knee and change. Armpit to opposite hip. Pull that knee in. Put the head down. Put the towel around your knees and pull your knees to your chest. We'll rock from side to side. Lovely. Okay, so you've got that towel across your shins. You're going to bring your legs into tabletop and lift your head up to look at it. I want you to push up through your shins, down through the towel, and pull your belly in. And hold it for 5 seconds. Pull the belly in. And then release. Pull the knees in. Drop the head. Good. Okay, so we are going to put the towel away, have one leg bent, the other leg up to the ceiling. And then first what we're going to do is just keep that leg as straight as you can up to the ceiling. And you're going to lift the heel, or excuse me, the toe, and balance on the heel the other leg, and then straighten that leg long, pressing that hamstring to the floor. Once you've got it there, we're going to flex the foot and point the foot. And see if you can articulate through the whole foot. Lead the toes behind and then point them. Start with your toes and then lead with your heel. Good. And if you have a TheraBand and this is challenging for you, you can always put the TheraBand around your foot to make this a little more reasonable. And then we are going to cross that leg. Let your hip come up a little bit. Now use the low back, the belly button dropping to the low back to bring your leg to the side. Now keep the opposite hip on the ground as you open that leg just a little to the side and then bring it back and let it go over. You can use the back of the arms to help you here and then bring it back with your belly and then stabilize your hips as it goes to the side and back to center. And you can always do this with a bent knee if this is challenging for you, and then bring it to the side. And this is true with the next part as well. Flex the foot. We're not going to make a big circle. It's small. You're going to cross the leg and then quickly circle it around and then stop. Inhale, exhale around. Inhale, exhale around. Inhale, exhale around. Last one. And then change. You go out first and quickly around. Ground through the heel of the foot on the floor. Not your ankle, but the heel. One more, and then pull that knee towards the chest, stretch long through the other leg, and then change. Okay, so we started with the foot on the floor, the other leg to the ceiling, and you're going to lift the toes, press through that heel to straighten the leg fully, and then you're going to flex and point the standing or the lifted leg. Use the back of the arms for stability, the back of the shoulders, and the back of the head. The fibers of the abdominals are drawing towards each other in that low belly. Finish with your flex. And we're going to cross the leg, lift that hip up, pull the belly down, and then open it out to the side. Couple more there. Let it cross. Use your shoulders for stability. Back in the arms. And remember, the hip lifts at the cross, but then we're going to keep it stable as you open that leg to the side. And then one more time. When it lands back in the center, here we go. Press down through the heel of the standing leg and circle, slow and then quick. Reverse it. Last one. Pull the knee into the chest, stretch it out. And then turn your body and face the front. Okay, so you can use your arm as a pillow if that's comfortable. And we're going to start with the thighs pulling back behind you so that you're in a straight line from your knees to the top of your head. Then I want you to put your heels together in the back with a slight external rotation. So it's not a huge clam, it's just a little external rotation. Your hips are stacked, your ribs are stacked, your shoulders are stacked. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to lengthen the spine and activate and wake up your glute muscles so that the next exercises we do are more effective. So what I want you to do is squeeze the heels first. Think of lengthening that top hip towards the top knee and pulling the hips forward and then letting it soften. In that order, squeeze the heels, lengthen the waist, activate the glute. And if you want to put your hand right where the gluteal folds, where the glute and the thigh meet, you can feel if you're being effective. So you can feel that muscle tighten, and then you can feel it soften. And it has to soften to tighten. So make sure to let it go in between each repetition. And then we'll do that one more time, and then let it go. Okay, so your hand can rest in front of you, and then you're going to bring your knees up and in towards your chest, and then the top leg is going to be straight. So continue to lengthen through that top leg, flex the foot, and in a parallel position, just begin to lift and lower it. Keep reaching through the waist, reaching through the leg. Keep ease in the neck and shoulders. And then bring it into parallel, and then point the foot and bring the knee towards the chest. Flex the foot and bring it behind you. And ground through this front leg. And then bring that knee in and flex to bring it back. Point to bring it forward. Flex to bring it back. One more. Let it circle to the side again. Flex the foot and do 5 circles each direction. 1, 2, make them quick. 3, 4, 5, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then those knees, lift yourself up, swing your legs around, and lie down. Find your comfortable position once again. The legs, feet behind you, thighs parallel, heels touching, slight external rotation. Press the heels, lengthen through that top hip, turn on your gluteal fold, and relax. Press, lengthen, and engage. Press, lengthen, and engage. One more time. Press, lengthen, and engage. Knees forward, legs straight out. All right, here we go. Up and down, long leg. Keep that toe pointing forward so it's not externally rotated. It is parallel. Leg is very straight and strong and long. Keep it parallel and bring the knee in with a pointed foot. Press through that heel. Stamp on the wall behind you. Use your core muscles to hold your position. Try not to rock forward and back through the shoulders, but keep them stacked. One more. Bring it around to the side and lifts. No, I think is that, yeah, no, we were circling next, sorry. Circling around. And then circling the other way. And now you add your little lifts. And bring it in. Let's lie on our back for a moment and do our figure 4 stretch. So you're going to bring up one leg and cross it. Then reach up and place your hands behind your thigh. And then lie back down. Let's go ahead and flex the foot that has its upper cross knee. And then the other foot can be relaxed. Do your best to keep the shoulders on the ground and the neck long. And then find the back of the pelvis and make sure that both sides of your pelvis are evenly weighted. If you'd like to add a little rocking motion from side to side. And then bring it back to center. And we'll switch legs. Little rocking. And back to center. Good. All right. We are going to roll around to your stomach. And the first thing I want you to do is place your hands, stack them on top of each other, and your feet are going to be slightly apart. Your head is going to rest on your forehead. Now I'm going to lift my head up so I can talk to you, but you've got your head resting on your forehead. So the first thing we're going to do is just rock the pelvis from side to side, just to let go of any tension, and then let that come to a stop. You're going to pull your belly in and think of your low back trying to meet your belly by sinking down to the floor. Rather than squeezing your butt and pushing your hips down, I want you to think about where the crease of your thighs and your glute meet and think of that sinking into the mat. As you do that, pulling up through the belly and the low back meeting it. Now you've got your hands on the floor, your shoulders are relaxed, and you're just going to lift your head up a little bit away from the floor so you're in a nice straight line. The hands and the arms stay on the ground, and then you're going to lower yourself back down again. Let's try that again. A nice inhale breath. Think of lengthening rather than lifting. I want that belly to keep pulling in and up and the top of the thighs to keep pressing down. Your arms are active in the mat. Lower yourself down. This time, I would like you to keep your hands attached to your forehead, both of them. And when you lift this time, the arms are going to lift with you. And it's very small, very long, and you hold it and then lower yourself back down. Inhale, lift yourself back up, pull that belly in nice and tight, and then lower back down. Good. Now we're going to bring our attention back to your legs. So we're going to curl the toes under, and you're going to push the hamstrings to the ceiling. And you're going to really reach through those heels of the feet, and the knees should be off of the mat. It's a little hard to tell looking at me, but my knees are not on the ground, they're straight. And then you're gonna point your feet and your legs are hovering over the floor. And then you're just gonna do a little lift in one leg and then a little lift in the other leg. Keep your legs really straight, try not to bend them, and move from that little crease. It's gonna be really tiny, small movement. You can have your chest slightly lifted, pushing down through the arms as you're doing it. Make sure that the belly, of course, is engaged, and you're lifting and lowering those legs. All right, now lower yourself all the way down. And we're going to bring the arms a little wider to the side and lift yourself up onto your elbows. You might want to tuck the elbows a little closer if that feels more supportive. And now make sure that the ribs are off of the floor and that your belly is lifting up away from the floor so that you're not jamming or shortening your low back, you're lengthening through the upper back. If you take your elbows and drag them towards your feet, it'll help you feel that little extension through your spine. And then just let yourself lower. Your elbows lift and go out to the side. And then pull your elbows back in and lift your chest back up again. And lower back down. One more of those. Pull the elbows in, lift those ribs, lift the belly, crease of the thighs, pressing down, and then you come down. We're gonna try now to lift both the legs and the arms. So the arms are gonna be long out in front of you. Curl the toes under again, straighten those legs, point the feet, and now lift your upper body so that you're in a little hover here. You're gonna take the right arm and the left leg and lift it a little bit, and then the other side. And then you can start moving quicker so that you start swimming. Inhale, 2, exhale, 2. Inhale, 2, exhale, 2. Inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Pull the arms underneath your shoulders, push yourself back. Nice little child's pose. I want your legs wide so that you can sit in between and then reach those arms out in front of you. Get a nice stretch through your low back and pelvis. Breathe into your pelvis. Fill it up with air. Bring both hands over to one side. Feel a little bit more stretch through that the arm that you're stretching that side, and then go to the other side. So if you're directed to the left, you're reaching the right arm. And then back to center, and then coming back up. So let's face the front here in our mermaid position. So if this position is not comfortable for you, you could try having both knees stacked. You could try sitting up on something, and you can also cross your legs. So pick a position that works for you. And then we're going to take it over to the elbow and stretch long through that top arm. Sink the opposite hip, and then up and over. You can grab the side of the lower leg and take yourself over to the other side. And up and over. This time, bring your arms center, and then we are going to take we're going to go in the direction of the front folded leg. You're going to take that arm forward, lift the hips up, and then look back over your head. You're opening up the front of the hips. It should feel yummy, and then bring yourself back and try it a couple more times. Reaching it forward and down. Last one. Now we're going to switch over to the other side. Now I want you to grab the top arm and pull on it, then slightly rotate towards that thigh and pull your belly in, and then lift up to a kneeling position by bringing your hips forward and lifting your arms. Whee! And then reach back, pull the belly in, and lower yourself down. We'll try it a couple more times. Pull the belly in, reach the hips forward, lift up, and lower down. Last one. Good. And then we'll switch over to the other side. I think I might be on the same side. Is that possible? I'm not sure. All of a sudden, I'm not sure. But make sure that I think I am on the same side. I think I better change that. There we go. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta declutter the cues and move. All right, we're gonna come to standing. And let's connect those wings back into your sacrum and down into the earth and start to reach those wings to the ceiling. And you're so strong through those arms that you could take off of the floor at any moment. You feel free, you feel strong, you feel tall, you feel alive. And then bring those arms through the middle. And then we're just gonna start patting the legs. You have an open hand, gentle pat up and down the legs. Get the full around the leg, and then make yourself way over to the other leg. Move up to your belly. Give your belly a good pat. Forward, keep your kidneys. Up to your chest. Move over to one arm. Over to the other arm. To the upper back. The neck. Gently the top of your head. Come back to your belly. And then toss your cares to the wind and slowly lower your arms. And thank you for joining me. Take a deep breath in. Remember to breathe and to take care of yourself and take care of each other.